Hi, good evening. It's Chioma again today. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm hoping that some people will join me in the next few seconds. I started to do this series because I got involved in a business that looks after health and wellness. I've not always been very careful with my life. I've not always paid a lot of attention to healthy living. But when I got into the business, I started to see things differently. I started to look at the options that are out there. I started to look at what I could do with my life different, okay? And I thought to myself that it's such a great thing to be in the wellness industry, because you stand a chance to do yourself some good. You stand a chance to look better and feel better and live a better life and influence other people's lives too. So it's been a good journey for me. And of course, there's a business opportunity, behind what I do. However, it's not what we're going to talk about tonight. And if you want to know more about that business opportunity, you can give me your comments or go to visit my website, which is www.bodybeautifulflp.com. www.bodybeautifulflp.com. So I look forward to your comments as we start. Okay. Hey Femi, thank you. You've been such a good person. You've been consistent every single evening. And I just want to do a special shout out to you. Thank you. Whatever it is, if it's, I know you're a man, and I'm so proud that you're so concerned about this. And, you've listened to every single session, and I hope that tonight you find it particularly interesting. So we started on Tuesday evening because it's Women's Week. And we thought, okay, we're going to do a series, or I'm going to do a series that basically touch on topics that affect us as women, affect our mothers, affect our wives. And so tonight, I'm just going to do a special shout out to the men that are joining us. So Femi, well done. Okay, so the first day on Tuesday, we started to talk about generally, just your general well-being, how you feel when you need to, you need to do something, when you're constantly tired, constantly feeling overwhelmed. And we decided and agreed that the first thing you need to do is to get a detox. A detox program would always work wonders and get you fresh and re-energized. The following day, we talked about pain management, we talked about arthritis. And so we focused a lot, and I told you the story about my mother, and we talked a lot about how to manage that pain, how to get over it, how to live a better life using, natural products and using things that would not cause any further damage to you. Yesterday, we touched on high blood pressure. We looked at the implications, the kind of medication that is available, the kind of home remedies that you can have and you can use, and the things that are in our environment that can help us, and how you can change your life, change your lifestyle, change your diet, exercise a bit more, and all of that. So tonight, we're going to talk about hormonal imbalance. So when you have a woman near you, or you're a woman and these symptoms show up, you will know what it is. You will know that it's not anything that is other than what it could be. So I'm approaching this from a layman's perspective. I'm not a medical person, I keep saying that, but I'm an interested party. I'm someone who's paid a lot of attention and who is paying attention to her well-being, to her health. And I'm thinking that, look, if I can influence 2 or 3 more people, that would be just fantastic. Okay, so tonight I would ask a question. Do you feel bloated? Do you feel irritable? Or do you not just feel your best? If you do, please send me a thumbs up. Let me know that you're with me on this, okay? So, if you feel any of those things, it could well be that you have an imbalance in your hormones. It might not be anything more sinister than that. So, what are hormones? Hormones are chemical messengers that affect the way our cells and our organs function. So it is perfectly normal for the levels to change or shift at different times in our life cycle. So such as, those changes can happen before our period, during our period, during pregnancy, nearer to childbirth, or even during, as you begin to experience the signs of menopause. Interestingly, also, some medication and health issues can trigger these hormones to go up and down. Now, what are the typical symptoms that we're going to explore tonight? There are 12 of them that I'm going to talk to you about. And, if you feel any of these ones, some you might need to cross-check with the medical personnel. You might need to see your doctor. But some of them you see and you know that, there's nothing more sinister happening. Okay, so the first thing is irregular periods. Do you feel, do you feel that your period has always been irregular or has suddenly become irregular? For a lot of women, periods have happened every 21 to 35 days. Okay, so your own cycle could come between that period. Now, the changes you see could actually happen between either the number of days is increased or the number is reduced, or it could also happen that the frequency reduces. So you see your period today and you don't see it for another 3 months, and it's just very unstable. That could actually be caused by your hormones. These changes, the hormones that could cause this could be too little or too much of the estrogen or the progesterone hormone. So if it feels like this is happening when you're not at the point when you should be having this experience, then perhaps you need to see a doctor, because you could have a bigger problem. But otherwise, I think that it's fairly normal. It's fairly normal as you get older that your period starts to act up, because your hormones are acting up as well. So let me just acknowledge a few people have joined us recently. Nicholas, Vivian, all the way from the States, I see you. Sally Sue, Jude, thank you. My brother-in-law, thank you so much for joining us. And so, like I said, just a quick note of warning: irregular periods can actually be a symptom of serious health problems. So you need to see a doctor if it starts to happen at a time that you do not expect it to happen, or if it suddenly starts to happen. Not that you've been consistent all your life and you're not menopausal or you're not premenopausal, then you need to really see a doctor about it. Now, the second symptom that we would discuss is sleep problems. A lot of women, a lot of friends I have tell me they can't sleep. Well, I used to tell people that I was a natural insomnia, if there was ever such a thing. That I struggled to sleep all my life. But you know what? Since I've been involved in the health and wellness industry, or in the wellness industry, I would say, I've come to realize that there are many ways to solve that problem. And I also know that if you're not getting enough sleep, then it means perhaps that the level of your progesterone, which is a hormone released by our ovaries to help us sleep, might be impaired. It might not be releasing enough. We might not be getting enough of it. So it's important that we understand what's happening to us. Nobody in our jobs is causing us problems, and nobody in our other life is causing us problems. So it just might be a reduction in our hormonal secretions. So I'm sure some of the women that are watching now are also experiencing things like hot flashes. Am I speaking to anyone? Just give me a thumbs up if you're in that boat with me. Those hot flashes actually can be triggered by low estrogen in our system, in our bodies. So when it happens, it can cause night sweats. It can cause sleeplessness, because you're not getting the kind of rest that you need. Okay, so let me acknowledge again a few people that have joined us. Tony, I see you. Thank you very much. You and Caroline have been here every single night. I also see you, one of my husbands, Prince. You're welcome. Thank you very much. Okay, so just to continue, I've been talking about the symptoms that we would notice if we have some sort of hormone imbalance or hormone deficiency, if you like. Now, the third thing that I'm going to talk about is chronic acne. A breakout before or during your period is usually normal. You would tend to see a lot of, pimples come up. But if you have pimples or acne that would not clear up after your period, it might be an excess of a particular hormone called androgens. Could cause your oil glands to overwork. So it's nothing to worry about. Some very good, and non-chemical products can help you keep your skin clean and help you recover your good and pure skin. Hello, Blessing. It's good to have you join us. Thank you for coming on board and watching us tonight. Now, the fourth thing that could be a symptom for us is memory fog. When you can't quite remember many things. I'm laughing because a lot of people who know me would attest to the fact that, almost in one ear, out the other, at this stage of my life, I can't quite remember anything. I have to write every single thing down, and it's sometimes not funny, sometimes it's very funny, sometimes the people I'm dealing with are so frustrated by it, I can't remember what they've told me. I used to be really worried. I used to be extremely worried, thinking, I was going mad or something. I thought I was hallucinating. No, I didn't hear that. No, you weren't speaking to me. You never told me that. But you know what? Guess what? That is a hormonal imbalance. So I'm like doubly challenged because I have a thyroid malfunction and as well as a low progesterone and estrogen because I'm going through menopause, early menopause. So it's hilarious to watch people trying to explain to me that they had a conversation with me and I'm drawing a complete blank. But anyway, I know what's wrong with me. I mean, if you're feeling any of those symptoms, if you're feeling that you can't remember anything at all, if you're feeling that you can't, you can't relate to this, please just give me a thumbs up, and I would like to know the people that are, going through these challenges with me, okay? So sometimes you find it much harder to remember things. Your brain feels foggy and your attention span and your memory are particularly bad, So it could just be a symptom of, other hormones. If there's, like I said, the thyroid malfunction could actually also be responsible. So you need to see your doctor. Oh, I see Caroline raising her hand. Thank you, Caroline, because I'm not alone in this. So anyway, so sometimes that fogginess might not only be due to being premenopausal or being menopausal. It could actually have a lot to do with your thyroid. So you need to go and run a simple test. A simple thyroid function test that would tell the doctors whether your thyroids are impaired or whether they're not functioning as they should. That way you get proper treatment, okay? I've had my thyroid's not functioning at all for the past 12 and a half years, and I'm alive and I'm well. There's just a replacement therapy that I'm taking on a daily basis. But some of the products I talked about, some of the products from the company that I represent also has helped a lot. Now, the fifth thing that I'll be talking about is tummy problems. When your belly just aches, your belly doesn't feel right, it feels bloated. You find that sometimes of the month or some periods of time, you're just uncomfortable. Your stomach just feels odd. You're stooling a lot, you have diarrhea, or you feel very nauseous, or you feel as though there's something in your stomach that you ate that is bad. It might not be anything bad. It might just be your hormone levels dropping or overacting at a period of time. Especially, it could happen a lot more during your period or just before your period starts. So when I was in the university, I had a roommate, and I'm not going to call her name because she might be watching from the US. We all knew when her period was going to start, because a few days to the time she would be on her knees the entire time. Her stomach would be cramped. I had another roommate who needed hospitalization for the entire period of her menstruation, which is really scary. So, but it's not a big deal. They're just people whose hormones drop in that period. So when you experience it, just know that it's natural. It's not an unusual thing. However, if you have these symptoms outside that time frame, then you need to see a doctor. Now, the sixth thing I'm going to talk about is constant fatigue. If you're constantly tired, constantly just not able to function optimally, you lose concentration, you can't focus, you can't look at a task, start it from the beginning and end it. You get distracted very easily because your mind is not functioning quite right. This could just be a function of a reduction in your hormones, and it could actually be your thyroid glands that are acting up. It could be that your thyroid glands are not working optimally. Now, I'll tell you how I knew that I had a thyroid malfunction. I just had my son, and I was really, initially, I was normal, I was very okay, and then about 3 months down the line, I started to feel really tired. Now, being that it was my first baby, I had no way of knowing whether that was normal, okay? I asked a few friends, I said, yes, you'll be tired now, you're not getting enough sleep, you're not resting well, so I thought it was normal. But it kept on, persisted. And I was like, no, if everybody felt the way I feel, I'm sure they won't have so many babies, so this cannot be normal. I couldn't function, I really couldn't function. It would take me like hours to think through a simple problem, something that I could easily address in a few hours. It would take me like almost a whole day to do this. I would be so tired. As soon as I get to my bed, I'm asleep, and I would not be able to wake up. So I knew there was a problem. And of course, my darling husband, being very kind and generous that he is, said to me that, it's because you've always loved the gym. You've always loved to exercise, and you haven't exercised in a very long time. So that could be the problem. And I just kept saying to him that, honestly, I feel as if I exercise, I would die. So I'm not even going to try it. And thank God I did not exercise. So one day it was so bad, he said to me, dress up, let's go to the hospital. Let's go and find out whether there's something wrong with you. As we got to the hospital and I started to describe my symptoms, the doctor said we will test for your thyroid and see what's going on there. Apparently, the thyroid gland is the engine room of the body. That's where your adrenaline, your metabolism, everything comes from. So I was gaining a lot of weight, but I wasn't eating as much. And, but as soon as it was discovered that this was what was causing my chronic fatigue, we're halfway there. Because, solution to a problem, solving a problem starts with even knowing what the problem is, isn't it? So anyway, I would ask that don't assume that your fatigue is as a function of your hormonal or hormones acting up. It could be something more serious. The thyroid gland secretes hormones also. It's a hormone on its own. So you need to check whether that's it, and because that could lead to so many different complications, as I was told. And the seventh symptom we'll talk about tonight is mood swings and depression. This one has cost a lot of women their homes. A lot of my male friends have said to me that when their wives were menopausal, they almost got divorced. Isn't it frightening? It would be nice if us women know exactly why we're feeling the way we're feeling, what the problems are, so that we can sort of get some help, because there are things that can help us manage this hormonal imbalance well, maybe not very well, but much better than we're currently dealing with. Okay, so there are over-the-counter drugs, but those things have also been known to heighten the possibility of getting cancers or getting other kinds of more serious diseases. Would I recommend anything chemically compounded? No, I wouldn't. But there are many natural, organic things that you can take that can curb the feeling and reduce the mood swings and reduce the depression. Okay, so these changes are caused essentially again by, you know, estrogen, a reduction in the estrogen that you secrete or your body makes. Okay, so the eighth thing that I will talk about is appetite and weight gain. Now, you find that as women get older, they tend to put on a lot of weight around the middle. Hi Joyce, I see you. Thank you for joining us. So a lot of women tend to put on a lot of weight. They put on the weight in all parts of the body, but essentially you see a lot of tummy fat. Now, what happens typically is that as your body is unable to, or well, reduces the quantum of estrogen that it produces, or as the estrogen levels deep, you find that you tend to eat more. Not only do you want to eat more, you want to eat sweet things more, which is a problem, you know, because there's this popular saying that sugar on the lips, settle on the hips. So, you know, it's not quite the women's fault. However, there are things you can do. You can have sweet fruits that you can keep with you to curb and reduce the weight gain, if you like. But typically, you find that there's a lot of weight gain as we get older, and these hormones stop being as productive, or as much, our body stops making it as much as we need. Okay, so the next thing we'll talk about is headaches. Are you one of those women that constantly have a headache? You know, are you one of those women that every single time you're complaining about headache? Well, you know, the answer to that problem might not be far away. For some women, when there's a drop in the estrogen levels, it can bring on headaches, a lot of it. Headache early in the morning, headache in the afternoon, and you know, you don't necessarily have to take drugs for it because you know what the cause is. It's important to know what is afflicting you so that you know how to deal with it. Okay, so what you could do is to take supplements, natural organic supplements that can build up your estrogen levels. So let me just quickly acknowledge a few people that have joined us recently. Itohan, Vicky, and I think did I say hi to Blessing earlier? Anyway, so thank you for joining. And Joyce, thank you. Okay, so it's Joyce I was trying to remember. Now, the 10th thing I'm going to talk about, the 10th and 11th thing I'm going to talk about, it's a bit controversial. Now, I was talking to a friend of mine and I said I was going to say this on Facebook, and I said, you're not going to say that, are you? Anyway, I'm going to say it because it's important that we know. The 10th thing that would be a symptom is vaginal dryness. So when the vagina is dry, could just be a simple symptom of a reduction in our estrogen and progesterone levels. Okay, it might not be your husband's girlfriend in the village that has done something to you. It might just be a very simple case of estrogen levels dropping. Okay, so please don't take it any way that is don't dwell on it. It happens, it's a phase and it will pass. But again, there are things to do to help yourself. So there are all the vaginal creams, that lubricating creams that would help. Please don't tell your man that you will not, he's going to hurt you, so there's nothing for him for this period. Let's, as women, learn to manage ourselves and manage the changes that we'll go through, and recognize that those changes are inevitable. Okay, Temitope Ada, I see you and you're both laughing. Thank you. Okay, so the next thing outside of the vaginal dryness is loss of libido. Honestly, I thought it was only me until I started doing the research. I realized that a lot of women at this, you know, when they're approaching a certain age, either premenopause or menopausal, they tend to lose a lot of interest in sex. Now, you know, for men, we can easily hold, you know, it's easy to see men's problem, yeah? Okay. But it's not so easy to see the woman's problem. However, because we, you know, the world deals with the man's problem a lot more, we think testosterone are only made by men. Guess what? They're made by women as well. That your body actually makes testosterone, and those, once there's a dip in the level that your body is making, you will find that you're no longer as interested in sex as you were. You start to see it almost as a chore, as a job, as a task, as something that you want to get away from. Trust me, it's nothing to get away from. It's something to, it's another phase of your life. So you've got to find things that you can use that would help you, okay? Things that can help make this a very smooth ride for you, and a smoother ride even for your partner. So, I mean, it's not a taboo. I think it's something we need to talk about, and I love to hear your comments. So thank you, Amaka, for telling me you love this. Thank you very much. Opie, I see you. Well done, my sister. Thank you for joining us. And I see all the comments, and I just don't want to take away from what I'm saying. That's why I'm not acknowledging on time. So please bear with me, but I really appreciate everyone that's joined and everyone that's commenting, and I really, really appreciate it, okay? So the final symptom I'm going to talk about is breast changes. Breast changes. You know, throughout our lives, our breasts actually change like every month. They change shape and size. I don't know if any woman has ever noticed. Now, so sometimes it can look heavier, or it can feel heavier, and sometimes it just looks a bit more flaccid, isn't it? I mean, please, if you're a woman and you are here, raise your finger for me and just show me that you are hearing me, okay? So, all right. No, Femi, this is not, Femi, you say you have to go women talk now. It's not women talk. If you're married, you need to hear it, because you need to understand what's going on with your wife. If you're not married and you have a mom, you need to also understand, because you might be the resource that can help her through a difficult time, okay? So now, if the breast changes in shape, sometimes it could be that it's just before your period or during your period. You find that there is a thickness or a thickening, so it feels heavier and fuller. So these are also things that hormones cause. However, if you notice lumps, more lumps than usual, if you notice the thickness is more, is not even, but has started to feel very lumpy, please quickly go and see your doctor. Very quickly go and see your doctor, okay? So Temitope, I see you. I see that you're asking to recommend some things to use to increase libido. Like I said at the very beginning, if you want to know more about some of these natural products that you can use, organic products that you can use to address any of these symptoms, please visit my website at www.bodybeautifulflp.com. www.bodybeautifulflp.com. Thank you so much for joining us, Emmanuel. We're just coming to the end of another exciting program. I thank you for joining me. And like I said at the very beginning, those of you that stayed to the end, please don't rush off. I'm going to post a link where you can register to win, to stand a chance to win $100 worth of organic products, a bouquet of organic products, amazing organic products that I've found that have completely changed my own life. and the lives of people around me. So I look forward to hearing from you on my site. I look forward to getting your feedback, and Tokwe, I will respond to you privately. And everyone else that wants any information on any of these things, please let me know and I'll come back to you. Even if you can't go to my website, which I implore you to go to, you can send me a message or leave me a message on my Facebook page. Thank you once again for joining us. And tomorrow is another day. Tomorrow we'll be talking about the skin, skincare, beautiful skin for women. How do you achieve, you know, luscious looking skin, healthy looking, you know, as very limited wrinkles as possible if you're at the stage of wrinkling. And so join me tomorrow while we talk. And then on Sunday, we will look at, we will make sure that we do the draws so that we can announce our winner. Thank you, Fatima, for joining us. Unfortunately, my time is up, but you can watch it again, okay? So thank you. Love you all. Bye.